and welcome to another tantalising taste of Landmark Beta with me, Binage. Well, as you can see, I'm swimming in midair. This is not a bug. No, because what we have here is placeable water, and that's the big thing this week, is placeable water. It's wonderful, really nice. It has its limitations, but it's here, and it's great, and you can place it in voxel sized blocks. You can do everything to water pretty much that you can with any other voxel. It's brilliant. Now if I swim down, as you see, I swim and I swim up. It's all great, but it's indoors, so let's go down again and walk out. There we go. So there you go, big block of water. It's fantastic. You can walk through it, you can see through it, you can swim in it, but you can manipulate it in the same way as you would any other voxel, which just has so many interesting possibilities. I'm very keen to explore some of them. Already have done a little bit with it, which I'll show you later, probably as we round up. But at the moment, it's just a joy. It's a great little plaything. One thing that is challenging about water is selecting it. It's difficult to select a specific water voxel. Your select tools seems to sort of slide off it, is the best way I can describe. So what you actually need to do is sort of select a voxel adjacent to water and then tweak it, tweak the selection into the water itself. If you just remember that in order to select water you need to tweak mode it. Once you try it, you should see exactly what I mean. That's my niggle. That's the only gripe with water, and frankly it's so easy to get around. It's actually not much of a gripe at all, and probably only really has an effect if you're mucking around with water voxels in ways that you really shouldn't. Well, I say really shouldn't, but in non-standard ways, let's put it that way. Anyway, one of the other downsides of this thing, and it's not really a downside, because as you see, being able to place voxels of water is fantastic. You can get some very interesting things, and as I say, probably we'll see some incredible things going forward. But it's not dynamic. It doesn't flow, and because it doesn't flow, that makes sort of dirty great pillars of water possible. It's self-supporting. It doesn't run off. But that makes it quite difficult to still to simulate waterfalls and rivers and stuff like that with any degree of, well, anything really. And that's kind of a shame. You are literally, what you're doing is you're placing a block of water, and it doesn't spread. So brilliant for sort of circular tubs, brilliant for square pools, but if you've got something that's an irregular shape, it's going to take quite a bit of finessing to get the water exactly as you want it, which is kind of a shame. But I mean, what we've got is marvellous, and we know that dynamic water is coming. So yeah, we'll be able to do waterfalls and rivers far easier somewhere down the line. In the meantime, we've got this to play with, and it's awesome. One of the things I'm not sure about is when they bring dynamic water in, if they will make all water instantly dynamic, in which case our lovely pillars will collapse. Anything we made out of water will suddenly go sploosh, presumably. or alternatively, they might make it a completely separate sort of water. So you've got static water that can be placed as a voxel, and dynamic water that you place and will then follow physics and flow. I'm intrigued. I have no idea which way they'll go. I'm kind of hoping they go for the dual option thing, because making structures of water is just unbelievably cool. And if this were dynamic, you wouldn't be able to do it. So yeah, well, not as easily anyway. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I hope it stays, but also really looking forward to dynamic water. I almost didn't gripe there, almost. Anyway, this brings us on to some new textures that we've got. Now we've got small brown bricks here. And when they announced small brown bricks, I had in mind red bricks, which is entirely my own fault. I sort of assumed something that they didn't actually say. So my disappointment is entirely self-made. But I'm still holding out for red brick with sort of a russet coloured brick with a lighter coloured mortar in between it, which I think would just be so useful for a fairly broad range of builds, because red bricks have been used in this country since the 15th century. So it's 500 years plus of red brick use, which covers a few genres, I think. It's not an essential texture, but it's a nice texture. Up here we have small slate bricks, which are the same, but slightly less. You can see the bricks are slightly less well defined than the brown bricks, which is a shame. It would have been nice if the shading on the grey bricks had been more pronounced. At the moment, it kind of looks like bricks that have been covered with a thin layer of cement or something like, or grey plaster. It's not ugly, it just doesn't really look like there's any real separation between the bricks, which is something of a shame. As before, it is, as you see, at voxel scale, which is brilliant. I'm really glad that they've kept that, and it's on, each brick is a 3x1 length, which should make incorporating it nice and easy. Brilliant. Anywho, moving on, we've got moonstone textures. So let's move out here, get a better look. Yeah, moonstone now has a full set of textures. So if we go here, open the texture menu, and then moonstone is not Moonstone is not quite at the bottom of this. There we are. There's moonstone, just there, just before the lumicites begin. And here you see now this over here. That's the raw moonstone, and then this is the large moonstone brick. I'm pretty sure this is the medium moonstone brick. It might be the other way around. This is the small moonstone brick. I mean, really small. Wow. Yep, small moonstone brick. That there, even that's a large brick, but proportionally it's it's the best you can do in this game. So it's the right proportions for the game constraints. It's fine. Brick sizes this big, they just seem really strange to me. I can't really see the uses for them. Brick sizes like that, yeah, I can see uses for them, but yeah. Oh well. Anyway, this one is pavers. Again, really large. Something with all the moonstones is that their textures are huge for some reason. I don't know why. This one is the moonstone roof tile. Again, vast tiles. and this one is moonstone floor tiles, which looks slightly more manageable. Now I get these two mixed up, so I'll need to select it. What do we got? Oh, right, okay. This is polished moonstone. I'm not sure if I can get any reflections of it. No, I can't. No. So anyway, polished moonstone, and I think that's rough moonstone. Yeah, polished, rough. Can't see the difference myself, but there we go. And this is raw moonstone. So yeah, honestly, I can't see me using it at all. Might be good. I don't know. I guess I can see some potential for some builds, but not for anything I'm doing, certainly. And the huge size of the textures is just well, it's very off-putting to me. Other people might be more comfortable with them. I don't know. I'm not. And just down here is the water texture, which I don't know if I've. Let me see. Control copy. Ah, right. Yes. If you see, I click in there. Oops. Click in there, and it should have grabbed. If you look, it looks as though it's grabbed a water voxel, but it hasn't. It's actually gone straight past it. So, as I mentioned earlier, you just tweak mode it in, and you can select your water. Terribly easy, nothing to worry about. Right, that's it for the new materials, and now we're on to new props. We've got a load of new props. So we'll start with this big 4-poster bed, which is called the Regal Master Bed in brown, which is actually, I quite like this. Yeah, it's nice. I'm not sure if I'll use it or not. Don't know, because I'm still very fond of the bed that I made. But this is certainly getting closer to something that would replace it, and stuff that just isn't possible currently with voxels. So obviously it looks a lot better than I could ever hope to make. So yeah, that's cool. Moving along, we have the Regal dresser here, which is a very smart piece of furniture. It's non-functional, unfortunately. I like the stained glass style detail on the top. That's very cool. But it has to be said, I mean, the dresser equivalents that I've made and other people have made are also non-functional, so you know, it's not a big deal. It just looks nice, and it does look really nice. This is what they call a Regal armoire, which to the rest of us, I think, is a wardrobe. It's quite a small wardrobe, but obviously it's a prop. You can scale it. So that'd be cool. What would be super cool is if you could open these doors and get inside it, but you can't. So again, it's completely non-functional. I'm not bothered by that, incidentally. That's not a grumble. It's just a, oh, wouldn't it be really cool if, which isn't the same thing, I'm sure. It's lovely. It's a beautiful finish. I can see me using that quite happily. And finally, we come to this. Finally, this is not by no means finally. Finally, in this row, we come to this, which is a stackable bookcase, which is superb. If you see, it's just that. It's got very straight lines. You just stack them as you like, and on top of each other and along. It's brilliant. Obviously, it's not just a bookcase. You can do other things with it, but we have those stacks of books, of which I grumbled about last time. I think it's nice. I think it has a place. I'm not sure that I can think what that place is just at the moment, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if I found a use for it, because it is really quite smart, quite a smart little thing. Moving on, we've got this, which is the Regal fireplace. Now, I may well use this because it's very, very pretty. Lots of shelf space. You can put your book props in there. Would be nice if we had individual books. I'm still not going to leave that bone alone, but it's really smart. It's lovely. I would happily give that space in my dining room, and yeah, I think it would fit nicely. Dining room, living room thing, and of course, click on it, and the fire turns on. The great thing, this bit here, since they've given us a fire guard anyway, which is that nice sort of 3-section cast iron thing, which has got sort of that very thin detail on it. This whole great thing here seems really odd, very peculiar. Why have this when we've already got a fire guard that we can use perfectly well? I don't know. So for that reason, I don't know, maybe I won't use it, but I'll certainly have a play around with it. It just seems a bit odd that there's this sort of huge grate, which would be more appropriate to an oven than a fireplace. Yeah. Okay, bookcases. Now we've got yes. We've got a regular bookcase here. What are these called? They're a wooden bookcase. As you see, it's very plain. It's got a load of books on it. It's nice, straightforward, quite nice. As you can see, all three of these have identical books with identical colours, but they don't sort of scream out repetition because they do after a while, don't they? They're not too bad. They're not too bad for the repetition. But that's not what's special about them. What's special about them is, as you see, that's just a sort of regular bookcase. But if you mouse over these, you get the activation hand, and that is because these are secret door bookcases. Oh yes. Now you've got a front hinged one and a rear hinged one. Now this, I think, is the rear hinged. Let's see. Yes, it's the rear hinged, because it sort of cuts into this. It pivots around the rear left corner there. So useful to put against a wall if you've got nothing on its left. If you've got something flush to its left, it's going to cut right through it. And then you've got this one, which is the front hinged one, which, as you see, works particularly well if it's got something that is an equivalent depth next to it. So say this fireplace or another bookshelf or something like that. And so you use a front hinged. So this one really for when it's next door to something, this for when it's standalone. Very roughly, I'm sure there'll be other ways of using it, but we'll see. So that's great. And on to our last two. We've got a shag rug. Stop sniggering at the back there. Which is kind of cute, isn't it? It's sort of fluffy and brown and looks nice. So you've got that. This is the regular shag rug. And then you've got this one, which is a sliding shag rug. Click on it and it moves. How cool is that? Now obviously their value as secrets are somewhat limited because all you need to do is throw your cursor over it and you can see the cursor change. But I hardly think that's important, to be honest. If you are genuinely wanting to conceal an entrance, there are other ways of doing it. These are for fun, and that's why we play games, isn't it? For fun. So yeah, I look forward to seeing libraries with thousands of secret entrances and hidden rugs and stuff. Should be good. Anyway, that's it for the new props, and I think you'll agree that's a really good haul. They're really, deeply impressed with the props we've got this time. Now, changes to templates. Not a huge, not a huge change. It's a fairly huge change. Let's have a look. Okay, let's go to chest of drawers. Actually, no, we can't. Oh, right. Rather than go through it, which will take me an age, I'll simply tell you. At the moment, or prior to this update, you could only take one picture of your item. Now, however, you can take up to 4 pictures per template. Now, that's brilliant because it allows you to show different angles. It doesn't just limit you to one angle of your template, and this also means that you can submit up to 4 screenshots of the same thing for Player Studio to sell them, and also for competitions, which is kind of good. It'll, having more screenshots available for judges to see will make their job easier, and also, honestly, if you're producing things for the studio or for competitions, I think it's a better feeling to feel that you're not limited to sort of one thing. You can give different aspects of whatever it is that you're submitting, and really feel that you're giving it a good showing. Right, so that's that. Now, marketplace updates. They've included a bedroom furniture bundle, which contains all of this week's new props. So that's everything I've just showed you. And they've added some new colours to existing outfits. If there was an outfit you thought that's an awesome outfit, I don't like it in that colour, go back to the marketplace and you may see a colour that appeals to you now. No, but the big change to the marketplace, big addition to the marketplace, that's better, is starter kits. Now, starter kits come in 3 flavours. That's basic, superior, and deluxe. And they contain quite a lot of stuff, so I'll go through them. Now, a basic starter kit costs 499 station cash, which is 1 SC short of $5. If Sony are true to form, that will be the equivalent of £5 and whatever, and probably slightly fewer euros, but wouldn't surprise me if they just sort of rounded it off to £5 and €5. So, I mean, your mileage may vary. I didn't particularly want to pursue the station cash purchase that I was having to do to figure out what the exchange rate was, so I only got to see it in dollars. I'm sorry. So I'm sure if you're interested, this will give you a rough idea. Anyway, basic starter kit costs basically $5, and it gives you the resources needed to craft a claim flag and 2 attached claim flags. Gives you a traveller's grappling hook, 2 keen eye bands, which I think give you a gathering bonus, 10 portal shards, 5 light stones, a rustic stone vault, non-upgradable versions of the tungsten pick, a gold axe, and a silver sickle, and a mechanised pulverizer, an adventurer's hiking gear outfit, and 5,000 dirt, sand, stone, and copper. Now, the there really isn't any standout stuff there. I guess the tools are pretty good. The lightstones also very useful, but there's only 5, so that's... I forget how long a basic lightstone lasts. I think it's half an hour or something like that. So not a huge amount of time. Better than nothing. But I'm not sure that it's necessarily worth... let me put it another way. There's a better purchase. And that better purchase, in my mind, is the Superior Starter Kit. Now this is 1,499 SC, station cash, which equates to $15, give or take. And this gives you the resources needed to craft a claim flag and 2 attached claim flags, an explorer's grappling hook, which is one up from the travellers, 2 keen eye bands, 20 portal shards, 10 lightstones, a rustic stone vault, and non-upgradable versions of the tungsten pick, gold axe, silver sickle, and powered pulverizer. So that's the pulverizer up from the mechanized. The casual Victorian apparel outfit, the treasure seeker's garb outfit, a stone forge, a tinkerer's workshop, a lunar anklet, an extra inventory slot, an extra vault slot, and 10,000 dirt, sand, stone, and copper. This is, I think, really good. If you are the thing is, if you're just starting the game, you don't actually know if you are going to enjoy it or not, so you might not want to splash out $15 on it. And to be honest, most of this stuff is super useful when you get started, with a couple of exceptions which I'll come to. But I mean, stuff that can be crafted becomes redundant really quickly. So, because it's really easy to craft stuff in this game at the moment. This may change actually with the introduction of recipes. You may find that things become rarer to make. Having a schematic for a tungsten pick and a gold axe and a silver sticker and a power pulverizer might be a really big deal going down the way. Anyway, that's not why I think it's a great buy. Why I think it's a great buy is that A, it gives you the stone forge and the tinkerer's workshop, just straight off the bat, which is super useful. Because it just lets you be really independent and craft whatever you want pretty much immediately, which is great. But the biggie for me, the biggie is the lunar anklet, and that gives you a super jump, and the super jump is really, let me tell you, very, very super indeed. Is it worth $15 on its own? I don't know. I don't know that I'd spend $15 on it. I might, but I don't know. But with the other stuff, if you're just starting out and you get the extra inventory slot and extra vault slot, which aren't going to devalue anytime soon, I'd say that was a pretty good buy. So if you're minded to buy a starter kit, if you want a bit of a leg up when you start the game, and a bit of an advantage throughout the game, to be honest, Superior Starter Kit is where to go. Now, the Deluxe Starter Kit is 2,499 station cash, which equates to very roughly $25. Now, this gives you the resources needed to craft a claim flag and 2 attached claim flags, so same. An Explorer's grappling hook, which is the same as the Superior. 2 Assessor's marks, which improves quality of items, I think. 20 portal shards, 20 light stones, a rustic stone vault, non-upgradable versions of the cobalt pick, gold axe, silver sickle, and power pulverizer. So the same as the Superior, but with a cobalt pick instead of a tungsten pick. But honestly, tools are really, really easy to make. It gives you the formal Victorian wear outfit, which I'm modelling for you here, which is very nice, very swish, I like it. The colonists and countersuit outfit, which we've spoken about before, a lunar anklet, a feather in a bottle, which I'll talk about in a second, 2 extra inventory slots, 2 extra vault slots, and 20,000 dirt, sand, stone and copper. Now the feather in a bottle gives you the ability to double jump, and that is kind of handy because it allows you to change the direction of your jump. So you can sort of jump forward initially, and then the double jump powered by feather in a bottle will allow you to jump in a completely different direction in mid-air. So that's really cool. Downside is that it doesn't double, not much of a downside, but it doesn't double the lunar anklet jump. So your second jump is a normal jump, regardless of whether you're wearing a lunar anklet or not. I honestly, I prefer the outfits in the starter kit, but that's a taste thing. You might not. A lot is very similar. A lot is really, really easy to come by. I mean, the 10,000 dirt, sand, stone and copper, I can get that in, I don't know, an hour, maybe 2, for the just to top everything off. It's 20,000, so I mean you're looking at 2 or 3 hours work to get those. So it's, if you think it's worth it starting out, more power to you. I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to buy it. But as I say, I think my recommendation is, if you're going to buy one of these starter kits, get the Superior, because I don't think the feather in a bottle is worth the extra. If you really like the outfits, then maybe they would be. So I don't know. Your mileage may vary. Have a look at the offers yourself. And that brings us to the end. What I'll do is, as promised, I will show you one little thing that I have done with the water. So back in a tick. And we're back. Now, what have I done with the water? This is what I've done with the water. As you see, I've microvoxeled it and used it as a sort of wobbly glass. And I think it looks really quite nice. So if I nip inside here, at some point I will give you a proper tour of the tea house, I promise. But as you see, it slightly colours the outside. It's best when you sort of see it with an empty space here. So it tints everything, it gives interesting little wobbling reflections. I think it looks really nice. It lends a very shaded, calm, cool feeling to this particular room. I haven't used it upstairs because the view is distorted. You can't really see particularly well through it, and the whole purpose of this place is to have a clear and unimpeded view of the distance. So yeah, this is just one very, very simple use of water. I'm sure other people will find much more inventive things to do with it, but I really like this. Feels nice. And I think it looks nice. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, do please leave a like, and any feedback is always welcome in the comment section down below. If you really enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the channel. So anyway, until next time, toodaloo.